Peace, 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 peace to the gods, peace to the gods. Welcome to In the Circle Ministry. This is our virtual YouTube ministry here, where we take things and put them up under the microscope, all the perspectives of our life, or anything that we're dealing with. We put them up under the microscope and see things that we couldn't normally see with the naked eye. I want to welcome you guys out to our What's Up Wednesday show. I'm your host, Rico Blakeney, Minister Blakeney. um, Really didn't have a big topic or a subject to bring about tonight. I wanted to come on tonight and really like freestyle, uh, maybe get into whatever the show may lead us into, whatever thought process that may be. But before we continue into that, I hope you continuously been working on your self mastery, continuously working on yourself, growing within yourself, and discovering more and more about the God that you are and who you are, your abilities and capabilities, and the way you're able to operate within yourself. Um, Growing within yourself is one of the most powerful things I believe that we as mankind or as humans can do. And sometimes it can be a battle based on the things that you're dealing with, societal norms, upbringings, traditions, or just whatever it may be, thoughts, concerns, fears, anxieties, uh, depressions, a lot of other things that we may deal with or have to cope with sometimes in life. And so the self mastery is taking and looking at all these things and trying to understand and figure yourself out, mastering yourself, looking at it from a higher perspective and having a higher understanding about that. I believe it's something that has always been in us as a child as we started our self mastery, and then we started to get influenced. Corrupt is a strong word, but we get altered and changed, and we've been fed different type of information, and a lot of times it's implied force through the things that the child watches, things that the child learns and sees and hears. Um, becomes a part of their daily habit, their daily routine, and a part of their daily or their lively identity. And the reason I say something, a reason I use like as a an implied force is because it's just the way that people are, and they, you know, they grow up, they become young adults. Somewhere in between there, they become parents, and then they become raising kids, and they're still individuals in those roles. So they're still uh, the female or the male in those roles, whether they were mature, immature, intelligent, brilliant, or whatever, caring, loving, disciplined. Um, I'm not going to say confused, but have an opposition or a certain way of believing, thoughts, and a certain way of living, from what we would call a ratchet or a hood life or a country life or province life, a rich life, a city life, suburb life, or whatever it may be. These individuals, if all individuals, this is how we all got here. So we go through that process, and that is something uh, that the kids pick up. There used to be a phrase that they use. My mom and dad used around here. It was a phrase that was constantly used as like, do what I say do and not do like you see me do, or do what I tell you to do and not what you see me do. And that is almost impossible to do because our first learning, from my understanding, our first learning is through observation. It's not through audible, in a sense. It's not through directorial. It's not like dictating and telling you what to do, how to do, when to do. It's not from those type of teaching, but it's more so of observation. So I'm gonna mimic that thing that I do see. Um, I think this is pretty good too. So check this out. I believe babies come from, or we all come from, the pureness and the essence of raw energy or raw God, or the raw source of life essence as itself, or spirituality. However you want to deem it, but we come from that source. And when we come into this world outside of the matrix, Um, is when I believe the reality of some of the things that they hear, because babies are able to hear while they're inside the mother womb. They're able to be involved in the room and the atmosphere and everything else while they're still inside the mother womb. They just haven't entered into this world from the inward part. They haven't entered through the matrix yet. So when that child comes in, they don't come in seeing a resemblance or imitation of where they come from or the source that they come from. They see this physical world, this physical representation. No matter where, how you feel about yourself being in your spiritual walk or your spiritual uh, journey, no matter what religion, nationality, shape, or creed, this is a natural thing that goes on. So I'm not condemning or deeming any of it wrong. I'm just telling you the truth about the matter. And this is what they see. So if you want to change and you want to do some things that I've learned to do in my life with the grandbabies and some of the newer grandbabies coming in, I have 9 now, is showing them a different thing. My actions and the way that I am and the way that I talk to you guys, these are the expressions of my life, and I live that life out. And it's not so much of doing something and that's opposite of it. So to help give brain clarification to that, um, it's something that it's sort of like with the Masonic or whatever, but one of the thoughts and the ideals of the Masonic is about being a part of everything. Like when they build the boat, they are a part of every piece of the boat that they build. So it's like whenever you're creating a man or you're creating a member, you're creating them every bit and fashion. The same way the Bible speaks of doing your work unto the Lord or losing yourself inside of your work unto the Lord, and then doing those things and the reward of doing them. So it's like that framework and that same thing is basically like how I encompass my life in a way. So whenever I'm doing something, they may ask. Sometimes they're just asking asking to be curious, and a lot of times they're asking to know. So I tell them from my thought process and my understanding and why I do what I do or why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I give them some of my. I don't just. It's just because this is the way it works. This is the way it is. This is the way it goes out. Now I tell them, I talk to them, and I speak to them on a higher level of consciousness as well. And I talk to them in a way that they can receive it. So if you want them to do better, you got to show them better or show them different. If you want them to do different, you got to show them different. Uh, it can be hard for you to be the judge of better for what you want the outcome to be for someone else, like for what they're doing too. That's another truth. But when a baby comes into this world, like I was saying earlier, it doesn't see the representation of the heavenly things or the essence of where it's from. It sees these other things, and that's what it starts to mimic, shape, form, and fashion itself around. And also the spiritual being, I believe, in the atmosphere that you are. And if you're in a peaceful home in a peaceful manner, then that child's going to be a peaceful individual. If you're in a house that argues, that like to listen to certain things, and I'm just talking about music in general and shows, some that produce fear or promote fear, some produce uh, all type of shit to have you all emotionally fucked up, or some of the violence and gruesome and all this other stuff. When you get a lot of that child's going to bring about a lot of those actions. And so whenever you are or you decide to do different, it's going to be hard for them to make the transition with you because they're still going to be doing what they see you do. And if you're lucky enough, and if we're blessed enough, the child begin to find themselves within themselves and come back to the pure essence or the original essence of and searching for who they are, the reason for self-mastery, and trying to get rid of all this other stuff and trying to change. And they've seen a reason for change for all this other stuff that they brought in and learned and brought a behavior, and they see the discourse that it brings to their life. Um, so um, I think that was pretty good. Good analogy. So if you could kind of understand that, then you can understand that whenever I use all those illustrations earlier about the babies and the parents and all those other things, you have to look at yourself and examine those things. Examine yourself from your childhood, or examine things from a child point of view. without any made up mind about yourself, or those that are involved in some of the things that you might be dealing with. It may have be someone else on the other end of your depression or your anxiety or your hurt or your confusion or your rage or your happiness or your peace, however it may be. 9 times out of 10, there is another individual attached and tied to those things. And look at those things without a respected person. Don't look at it for the value of the individual and their role or their title. Look at it from the actions that were done, and then you can see if these things were done by whatever a righteous, a good person, a well-being person, and it was a bad thing that happened, but it was a good person that done that done a bad thing that might have made you feel this way, and they might not have been aware that it made you feel that way, or um, so when you judge people for their actions, not saying judging their actions, what I mean by that is a lot of people say certain things, uh and they can say they're your friend, they can say that they're loyal, they can say that they have your best interest in hand, but their action shows different. um if you're the one that's always receiving a phone call asking for the assistance or needing the assistance of you, then and if it's not reciprocated in the other way, or if it ever need to be and it can't be done, then you have to value those things for what they are. How can they really have your best interest at hand? So no, what they really have is they have what you have to offer for their best interest at hand, and how valuable and how accessible you are to them, and what they can do with you for their benefit. And then if they're never in the shape to ever return the favor, then you gotta see that thing for what it is, and know that's something you may not need to invest your time, energy, thoughts with. Not saying you gotta lose a friendship, but there's certain things that come with it that you set rules and boundaries and guides on. Certain things I'm not, what I mean? It's a give and take. I can't be taken advantage of, and I'm not gonna take advantage of you. So I damn sure can't let you take advantage of me. If I'm not gonna lie to myself, then I can't lie to you. So I damn sure can't let you lie to me. You know, and that could be translated in a nice way, in a given way. You know what I mean? It might have just sounded raw, but the actions of whenever something would happen like that, they don't. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be that hostile. It can be just as simple as, "No, I can't let you get away with that. This is how I feel. This is what I think." Yada yada yada. This is the truth of what I see of the matter, and this is where I see the lie at, or this is where I see the issue at, or the disagreement or the discrepancies at. What do you think? You're not. Anyway, not just gonna be able to lie to me, and I'm a good reader of people and things, and so um, like I say, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna lie to me. You're not gonna get over on me, because 9 times, 10 times out of 10, I've seen it. So if I let you have it, you didn't get over on me. It's just the last time you're gonna get that from me. I learned that through experience too. Um, so those are major things. I feel like they are small and minute because a lot of time it's overlooked, and you can get caught up with the respect of the person. You can get caught up with the thing that was done, and not ever get into the root cause issue, or why it was done, or who is this individual. Who is this individual will tell you why they were doing it. There's a thing called the Tao, or the way. Lon Soon or something like that wrote the book, but it said the name of the thing is the particular of all things. And a couple more other things come right behind it. But whenever you name a thing, most of the time that thing is named off of the characteristics or the attributes that it does, or whatever it does, or the function that it has. Um, you know, one example where I don't know what they call it, orange or orange outside of it being the color of orange. I know they label it as a citrus, but we call it orange. We don't call lemon yellow. It's a lemon. It's a citrus. We don't call lime green. We call it lime. We don't call it lime green. You know what I mean? But orange is orange. So the name of a thing sometimes can be by that thing. They call it an automobile. You know what I mean? You're able to use that mobile. It's mobile. It's automatic mobility, automobile. And what I mean, don't fact check me. Just saying, think about it. Just makes sense. It's automated or automatic mobility. You can get it in and instantly move forward or back. Automobile. Describing that thing. Uh, so when we call corn, it's describing that plant. That's what it is. It's corn. It doesn't tell if it's yellow, green, or whatever, but it's describing that thing. Uh, so we could call water. We call water water. Wet is one of the descriptions of water, but what is water? You know, when we name water, or when water was named, what was water? How was it? It was wet. It was deep. It's tied to the spirit. Yada yada yada. So the definitions and how the thing, but the naming of the things, the particulars of the things. It's very particular. It's going to be there's something particular about the name. So whenever you're dealing with individuals, you get to find the root cause and find out the particular thing and the reason why um, people do some of the things that they do. And you're going to have to be able to grow to the point to understand that you can't control. Once you do find out why people do what they do, you only control what you do. And you can have a higher outcome of how people treat or act you by the way you conduct yourself and how you rule yourself. As you've been God, you have the right to set boundaries. You have the right to set and also accept boundaries and respect boundaries. In the relationship, you have the terms and conditions. You can evaluate them and go through them and accept those terms and conditions, but operate within the delicate bounds of those terms and conditions, and you'll stay righteous. Now, this is why I say you can call someone on their truth or call them on their bullshit. Whenever they're not acting up under their terms and conditions, you can call them out on their lie. Like, don't lie to me, man. I know the terms and conditions. We know our arrangement. We know our agreement. Even if it's unspoken words, the way we've been handling each other, the way we're doing things, so that's unspoken law, unspoken rule, the way that stuff works too as well. So dealing with yourself in that same matter, the same way you deal with everyone else, for me in my experience, it helped me see a lot of things. It helped me examine a lot of things. Because a lot of times what people were telling me sometimes would match what I was hearing or what I was feeling or what I was shown. And from the way that they treated me. And I also had to learn this too as well, is that I had to take my expectation off of individuals to be and act like me. Once I understood that no one else could be and act like me, not even my own fucking child. So I just have to be me, take that expectation off the individual, unless those were given in the terms and conditions and those expectations are lawful and they're truthful. And then you should be able to handle and deal with things in that way. When they're lawful and truthful, then you can handle the lies in a sense and handle them in a proper way and bring all things back to truth and bring all things back into harmony, bring things back up under the peaceful contract. So following those things help me see and help me how to deal and operate with people. So whether the contract need to be renegotiated, or was it an ungiven law and an ungiven or unspoken rule that was said, from now on out I have to handle the situation this way, this way, this way, and this way, because of the terms and conditions have changed and there's variants now have come into play, that I can't treat it the same way. You get in a wreck and somebody hits you in your quarter pound on right there at your driver door and your quarter pound on it, and it bends that door up. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's gonna be hard for you to open that door or close that door. It's always gonna be a pop or a pop. But a lot of times they make it hard for the door to open, because the quarter pounder in the door are now, they're not here no more. The door will open, close, but now it's jacked up with the door behind it. When you ready to try to open the door, it's pushing against the corner panel or you get ready to try to close the door. It may not close all the way, or you might get it latch, but you can see it still bulging out on the corner panel. But anyway, when those things happen, you you you'll be able to say that I cannot continue to act as if I haven't been in a wreck. I can just close my door without that problem. You know, you're gonna get in, you're gonna have to you have to close that door. You may have to roll the window down. you may you may have to get out. But you know, you're not gonna be able to continue to act as if the terms and conditions of that automobile and the agreement y'all have is the same. Now you gotta treat the automobile a little different, even though you keep the automobile. Same thing with relations and people in your life. Kathy, daddy, mama, sister, brother, uncle, nephew, whatever. You know, as you begin to grow and do certain things, you be able to not have that respect of person. And everybody should be on. I call this a grown up level. This is some grown man and women shit. Where all that other stuff, feelings, emotions, and all that other crazy shit gone. No, you treat me good, I treat you good. I have your best interests at hand. You succeed, I succeed. If you fail, in a sense, I fail. Then we fail. Then what can we do besides get back up and try again? But you know what I mean? I'm pulling for your success just like you're pulling for my success. And we're working together. We'll never be completely down and out, even if something fails. It doesn't make us a failure. That thing failed. On to the next. Let's go get it. You know. So that's a little dive into a little bit of self mastery and understanding my concept, thoughts, and my views and opinion about it. I believe in my heart it's good stuff for someone, especially if you get it and you understand it and you can apply it to your life in a way that it's custom and fit to your life, burn the terms and condition of your life, and it'll work out the way that it should be. Whether you see it a different way or understand it a different way, or you know what I mean, the conclusion is the point. How we get to it doesn't matter. Facts are facts. We got to come through theories and beliefs in order to get to the facts, as we talked about before. Then let's get to the facts. Um, so yeah. So what else? What else can we talk about tonight? I feel like we're gonna talk good about the spirituality and self mastery. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be on. Um, I think next week I talk about trust and some of the things you can do to trust, some myths and some theories about trust, some lies about trust, and actually some actual things that I've done and I've used and it's been successful for me and others with the trust. So we'll talk about that next week. I don't know if it'll be Wednesday or Monday. And depending on how things go Monday, because it's supposed to be a bunch of rain and snow and sleet and a bunch of bad weather down here, so I don't know how the internet will work. But we'll see how that goes. So I plan on doing it either Monday or Wednesday. We'll talk more about trust and understanding that the asset protection that comes with it, um, and understanding how you can use it and benefit yourself. And then we may get into more. Well, we'll talk about it real quick tonight, but when we get to the trust, but being private, there's certain things that's been pushed around and the movement as well too as being private. There's a couple ways of being private. I would say, from my understanding, or from things and information that I've been able to attain, that you can be completely private, which is extreme private, as I said before, and that's being a very extreme private. That is the right word to say, but for expression of this topic tonight, extreme, or you still can be private. And then the confusion about what private is. When we talked about sovereign citizens before, and a bunch of other things, a bunch of the sovereign citizens puts that they are private citizens and that nobody can judge them but God, and they can run them up around the world or whatever they want to. That private ain't what it is. And a lot of that regurgitated shit's been taught about that privacy and brought it to the sovereigns that gave the bad name for the sovereign citizen movement that the FBI used and all other things like that. the right to travel bullshit comes from being a private citizen, not paying taxes and being anti-government. All those things are some of that private citizen shit. And then they will tell you that you can build and create trust, and you can just put shit in your trust, and then it's out of everybody's jurisdiction because it's in a private certificate trust or a foreign trust. So we get more into that next week. But then you have the other type of private where um, you're damn near like the Amish to an extent, but the way the system is set up now for you to be that private, you have to get yourself some land in some non-residential place. You have to go get you one of them rural free, really away from all people, out of the residential. Get it out there in the rural free area. You can get that. You can get your solar. You can get your own septic tank, depending on what state and places you are. Varies on that too, or what type of system you can use for septic. Build your own or have one installed through the formal way. You can take the lumber off your property and build your own home if you chose to. Um, but what you would do is get satellites or get a windmill or get water mills, a source of energy to bring electricity into the home. You can buy these other things, but here's the thing: you're gonna have to already have most of that money to buy uh, 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 buy the materials you need or the things in life. Um, you can get you a moped and drive it. You get up under certain speed limits. You don't need a license or a tag for it. Like I said, depending on what state you are down here in South Carolina, that could be your means of travel. You can get you a horse and travel. Can't go down the middle of the interstate, but you can travel the long scenic route. And you can take your horse and your buggy and you can travel all the way around state to state, however you want to. Can't get on the highway, but out in the rural, free in the country areas, you can do that. Um, it's gonna be hard for you to open a checking account and do other things. It's gonna be hard for you to really. Some things I learned too. It's gonna be really hard for you to open bank accounts or do anything if you're not gonna deal with straight cash, gold, or barter. If you can grow now, you can grow your own crop. You can live on land and live a life like that. I'm not saying that you have to have all these amenities. You don't have to have a cell phone. You don't have to have internet. You don't have to have a computer. You can grow your stuff. You can raise your livestock. You can feed yourself and your family off of your own property. That's a natural way of living. You can do that. Yeah, I don't have time to talk to you right now, Red. I'm doing live. But you can do all those things and live a happy life if that suits you. Be completely private, never intervening with the government or doing anything else. You can have that property put into a church or you have it put into a trust, however it may be. But like I said, dealing into the societal norm, you could be completely private. And as long as you don't go out there and harm nobody, or break any other laws, then you already are a private citizen. You're already a sovereign citizen because nobody has to tell you how to stay the fuck out of jail. You don't have to worry about hurting nobody. You're gonna put insurance on your car because you know these are the rules and the regulations of the state. You're gonna have the insurance on the car. Now, whether what entity you put it in is on you, but you're gonna do that. And just in case somebody injured you or you injure someone else, you're able to take care of them and the things that they got going on. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. And then whenever you do those things, you're gonna be an honorable person. You want to make sure that that individual that might have been hurt by your negligence or whatever it may be, or somebody else could hit you in the ass and cause you to hit somebody else. You're still involved in some things, but either way it goes, you can be able to take care of those things. Um, they got some laws set up where sometimes you go to the hospital, they can't refuse you, but they can only treat you to the minimum. They can't, you know what I mean? They don't have to damn complete surgery, but they can't just leave you fucked up. But if they do, that's another thing with the system to deal with. But anyway, You can be completely private, completely off the grid, live on your own. You, your family, and everybody else. You can stay out there and be self-sufficient and really take care of yourself. As long as the city don't grow and suburbs change and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, they have to push you out. But you can do that. But you also um, can do it another way, where you still remain private by using certain entities where you're not the owner of the entities, controlling some certain things. And like I said, we're getting more into the trust and things of that nature, but you don't have to own the thing. But like I said, most people will be private and not use the social, not use the birth certificate. So there's other little ways like that we talk about now private, but you can also set it up whereas you never get the kid a social. You never get them the thing. You get them in a state number if you're going to use it. If they need to open a bank account or if they need to enter that for business purposes, they can use that. If they have to step into the world, that they can use that. Now it's still going to have its tax limits and its limitations and its benefits and privileges, just as well as having a trust, a social security number, a EIN, or TI, a ITIN, a TIN. No, that doesn't matter. It's just still all tax. It's what they use it for their tax brackets. So you can do that, control things without actually being there and be the benefit of it. And there's also other workarounds where you can put your own information into the system instead of having their documentation. You can have your own documentation and have it authenticated, notarized, and all this other stuff, and have your things. You can go through the status correction, through the national passport, and all those other things as well. We teach. But like I was saying before, that's like I said, those are the three levels of privacy I see. So I operate from that one in the middle I just got finished talking about. That one where I can control everything and don't own anything. But at the same time, out in the private, I still do the same thing. Only difference is there's a lot of things that I had to acquire using the social because I didn't have the ITIN. My parents are getting the EIN beforehand. But my point is, in order for you to go out there into that private, you got to be like the children of Israel when they spoke about it when they left Egypt. They looked like as if they had spoiled Egypt with all the gold and possessions that Egypt gave them when the children of Israel was kicked out. Pharaoh and all the shit happened. The last one died. They were pushed out. They looked like they had spoiled them. What they had came in at war, won, and took what the hell they wanted to before they entered into the wilderness. So, my thought and opinion. If you don't have it already established, you the straw man what it's for. Get what you need. Get the fuck out. Go on out there and live by yourself and do those things to continue to live that way. You still can have a successful life. I know the guy that didn't have a damn diploma at all. He didn't have over a third grade education, but he made $1,000 a day bargaining, selling and trading stuff out of his little store. You know, and it was church affiliated. Yes, sir. Now, needless to say, he done some other things that got him caught up. But once he crossed those lines of that public and that private, well, the church is private as well too. That's another tip. The church is private as well as a private entity, separate from, in a sense, from the government. As long as you don't do nothing to cross the line, as long as you continue to stay up under your church and operate like you're supposed to, temple mosque, whatever, then you're good. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just like a real private citizen. If I don't go down the road speeding, I ain't got to worry about getting no damn ticket. I don't want to worry about going to jail for burglary if I don't breaking nobody's shit. I won't get locked up for theft if I don't steal shit. If I don't rob nobody, I won't get locked up for that. If I don't shit nobody, I won't get caught for no embezzlement or doing anything else. As long as you just do the right thing, you don't have to worry about it. There's some of the self-government we talked about before too, being self-government in this type of republic. And this type of public before it was when we were here, before the colonizers come here, it was a great republic here. There was nations and tribes and everything already uh, living in this public. And this was their way of living So this republic is a recreation of the republic anyway. But so those levels of privacy is how you can live and how you can operate and what you can do. It's all about what and how you do. So be wary of some of the processes they teach you in these same damn fields. Because they can teach you some stuff in this sovereign citizen shit I was telling you about, and that type of private bullshit mentality. They're gonna teach you shit, gonna get you locked up, gonna have you having a seeing if you crazy test, evaluated, all this other shit. You're gonna end up being a worse of a ward of the state because you're trying to separate yourself and not be a ward of the state. You're gonna be a worse ward of the state than you were when you started out. But on the other side, that's cool. It's all up to the person, the individual. If you got you enough money, or you can get you a grant from the government to go ahead and put this farmland down here on it. You can live out there in that rural free area. You can do that. You won't be completely private. What I'm saying, financial wise, you can do that, and as long as you handle those regulations or whatever that farmland is used for, then you're good. You want no problem out of them. You don't have to pay it back. They're not looking for nothing back. Same thing they did with all the white people when they brought and started shipping all the damn Indians off. They wouldn't give them damn land and paying them to take the land. Oklahoma and Ohio and a couple places like that too, I believe. And they were just paying white people to go ahead and live on the damn land, giving them land and money, start it, build it, get it up and going. Go west, young man, go west. So, but if that's your thing, man, if you can do it, you can go out there. For me, my goal is to have that type of land and to be out there and be self-sufficient, but still be able to have all the things that we need to have, whatever we need with. If something go on and one of my kids or I want to go to the damn Bahamas, I want to be able to go to the Bahamas. I want to have the money. I have all the credit documentation that I need to go to the Bahamas, China, England, Europe, wherever I want to go. The kids want to go. They'll be able to do that. So you can go ahead and live a peaceful life amongst yourself and be out there by yourself and build your compound, build your family, and y'all can all grow and spread and do that. But I honestly believe there will come a point in time where either trading and bargaining, you're going to need some of these Federal Reserve notes or minimum exchange inside of the society to do something. So I like the middle way. I like to be able to control everything and own nothing. I still can remain private just as well as the whole system is running today. A lot of corporations you want to sue. The only thing you can do is sue the corporation. You can't sue the individual. Can't sue the owner. Can't sue the CFO. You can't sue the president. You can't sue the teller, or you can't sue the secretary. You can't sue the other individuals. Sue the company on behalf of these. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? And now these people still get to live their everyday life, even if they get fired from their job or they have to redo whatever they need to in their life. They're not ultimately fucked up. The company is the one that worries it, and this society leans more towards the company than they do the individual. Those are my thoughts, in my opinion. See somebody's watching, they're liking. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for watching. But that's and thank you for being here as well. I'm sorry. Whoever you are, thank you. And if you're here and if you're still around, put something in the comment section. That helps my algorithm get out. I see, honestly, the last couple of weeks, I got cut off, and ever since then, I see they've been throttling back my channel. But anyway, show still goes on. But yeah, you can understand the way the system really works, and if you understand the system, you can see the system is not bad, corrupt, or evil. It's only those ways because you're not willing to learn how to operate within them and be successful. That's just my God honest opinion and from my experience. No, I'm not at the financial place I desire to be on this calendar date, but in the now, I'm always there, rich beyond my wealth. But I haven't got to that place yet, but I am financially stable enough to tell you that I'm good from these things. I'm not a flashy guy. I don't have too much gold, but everything I got damn near paid for. And my house is the next thing I've worked on get paid for. Land, vehicles, accessories around the house, everything that I have for the farm, Everything I have for the yard, everything that I have for my businesses, all that shit's paid for, been paid for. So you can control everything and own nothing. You can go out there and have nothing and live in peace. But like I say, my dream is to have them both. That is my goal. That is the thing that's going to happen before I leave this side of, they say, this side of the earth. That I will have it established so I can enjoy it with my grandkids before they inherit it and advance it. And there's other things I got in the work to help them be able to do that. And once we get all this indigenous stuff set up, they'll still be recognized and be able to set up their own territory wherever it is at down here. So watch out for that too, private members. Um, yeah, I think that's a pretty good show tonight. I think we talked about a couple of good things and several different things, but I think that the information was good. Well, I know the information was good. Hope you receive it as good and hope it's a way that you apply it into your life. And whether you never get a chance to come back and tell me thank you, as long as something that I said and done is able to do that in your life, it will come back to my treasury, whether you do it or not. So I don't mean this in no negative way, and I don't mean this in no fucked up way. Is that my reward will come from doing the right thing, and those things and the right things will be attracted to me. Not saying that I'm doing and saying and talking and like stuff that I'm doing here now to receive a reward from a individual. Yes, it sounds good to know that I was able to help or do whatever. That's what I do it for. But if I never do it, my reward isn't that. My reward is the peace that I have. My reward is the things that I talked about before that I get. My life, just like Abraham, they say he was a righteous man, and that his righteousness or his right standing with the understanding of him and God is what brought him his riches. He wasn't taking money from nobody else. So as they could say that they made him rich. Nah. Catch on to that. Catch on to what I just said and understand that. Those things are what's going to bring back and put back into your treasury. Those are the things that's going to bring back 10, 60, sometimes 100-fold back into your life. And those are the things that I've seen through my life. Even in most fucked up situations, I've been very favorable and had very, very favorable outcomes because of the pureness of intentions of who I am. And that's just my belief. Join us next Monday or next Tuesday. You know, I'm going to go and get off tonight. I thank you guys for joining. Thank you for those that came in. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares. Thank you for hitting the notification. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your following. Most of all, thank you for being your unique self, because there are things in this world that are needed that only you can bring. And because of that thing that you bring, or there are certain things in this world. So take pride and take comfort and take joy in knowing that you the shit. And thank you for being the shit. I'm gonna continue to be the shit over here, and we're gonna continue to live in this good shit. So you continue to be more than prosperous, you be more than wealthy, you be more than happy, you be more than peaceful, you be more than joyful. Until the next time we get on, and the next time we talk to you guys, I'm gonna say peace to the God, peace, love, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. You guys have a great, wonderful, and fabulous night. And as I said before, until next time, peace.